Merci d'avoir venu. This morning we are very pleased to be welcoming the Canadian Internet Registration Authority, CIRA, to City Hall and along with other partners for a really exciting announcement and step forward for Moncton. I'm Richard Dunn. I'm with the Economic Development and Immigration team here at City Hall. We've got, I can't even name all of the IT presence we have in this room. Harnessing the brain power is really terrific. I would like to just welcome a few individuals here this morning. We've got Mayor Don Arnold is joining us, Councillor Charles Legier. I'm very happy to have Hunter Newby, co-owner of the Fibre Centre, and Jacques Latour with CIRA, the Canadian Internet Registration Authority. Ils vont nous parler un petit peu plus tard. I'd also like to just welcome, we are live streaming this event on Facebook to the general public. So this is a first for the City of Moncton. We've got some new technology that we're taking for a test drive. So we're very pleased to be announcing a technological advancement using this wonderful technology. So I don't want to steal any of the thunder. This is CIRA's announcement. It is available on their website right now, CIRA.ca, or it is on the newswire, I should say. We don't have printed copies, but I can make it available directly to anyone who would like to see me following this event. So you can just come and see me, and I'll make sure that you get it. Mais premièrement, je vais faire la bienvenue à notre mairesse, Don Arnold, pour nous donner un petit peu de commentaires. Comment c'est lié la ville de Moncton avec cette annonce aujourd'hui.
Merci. Merci Richard. C'est un grand plaisir pour moi d'être parmi vous ce matin au nom du conseil municipal et tous les citoyennes et citoyennes de Moncton pour cette belle annonce. The city of Moncton has never had more to offer. We are on the move and all working together to move Moncton forward. We are recognized as the economic and commercial center of Atlantic Canada. We are now the largest city in New Brunswick, and we have many of the key qualities to make us one of the very best places in the region to live, learn, work, play, and do business. The momentum is infectious. The next chapter in Moncton's story is most definitely about taking our hub location to the next level, the digital level. The Fibre Centre will help shape this direction as it opens the doors for local, national, and international networks to reliably connect with each other right here in our backyard. Having this type of facility is not only an advantage for companies, but it is increasingly a necessity. Today's announcement by CIRA is further evidence that the Fibre Centre is on to something special with their neutral peering facility. In fact, this is exactly the type of facility that a strong public internet needs in order to thrive. We know firsthand that content providers and global carriers are taking a serious look at establishing a digital presence in our city. We also know that other cities, like Ottawa, are paying equally close attention to the future of internet and the importance of strong networks. Rest assured that Moncton will not be left behind and will continue to be a top contender for new investment in this space. J'avoue que le Fibre Centre est une conception qui est nouveau pour plusieurs de nous. Cette initiative, c'est faire des connexions, ou plutôt des interconnexions. The Fibre Centre represents new opportunities for growth and competitiveness in a world that continues to have an increased reliance on digital connectivity. Avant l'aménagement du Fibre Centre, il n'existait pas d'endroit physique pour accéder directement à tous les réseaux en région ou la traversant. Cette absence limitait la portée et la capacité des réseaux, de même que le développement économique des entreprises et des gens faisant des activités et vivant au Canada Atlantique. So, with all that said, we are very pleased and excited to welcome CIRA's digital presence, a key ingredient what Hunter told me. And this cake is starting, this economic cake is baking. And the ingredients include the Fiber Center, which is the real estate, the local network access, which is Bell and Alliant, the content providers, which is Google and Facebook, and now an internet exchange or junction with CIRA. This helps us bake this cake that will create new business, new jobs, and new opportunity in our region. Alors, merci beaucoup.
Thank you. Yeah, we did spend a little bit of time talking about cakes this morning, so I wanted just to take a moment to share with you. Yesterday, I had the great pleasure of spending a couple of hours with some guests of ours that have come here from Germany. We've got a cloud company that is establishing a presence in the Fiber Center that understands the value of this transatlantic cable that we are just, it's on our doorstep, so they're taking advantage. So Jan and KJ, welcome to our event, and we're very, very happy to have you setting up in Moncton, and I know that there will be a great more companies from Europe taking advantage of our new trade agreement that will be starting their businesses and growing their businesses in Moncton and to the rest of Canada. This is an important ingredient to our cake. Last month, I had the great pleasure of attending an event in New York City, and I was able to tour one of Hunter's properties, and it is truly remarkable what this type of business model can become. I'm very confident that the Fiber Center will, turn into just a phenomenal presence for internet, for networks, for companies, for businesses, and for residents. Let's not forget that a faster, more reliable internet is something for everybody. We all use the internet every day, and improving that access right here will have a tremendous benefit for the general public as well as our business community. But it is my great pleasure to welcome Hunter Newby, co-owner in the Fiber Center, to share with us a little bit more of his vision. He always, every time he visits, he shares a little bit more of how he sees this business evolving, and I'm always fascinated to hear that message, and really eager to work with him going forward. So, Hunter.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you, Richard, and merci beaucoup as well to Mayor. Thank you so much, and CIRA, and all of you for being here today. Je suis très happy to be ici. Aujourd'hui, as always. So yes. So here we stand today, and as Richard reminded me, it is literally 6 months to the day from when we had our last press conference here at City Hall downstairs with Hibernian Atlantic, which has now been since acquired by GTT. And that announcement was to announce the very first independent competitive internet service provider being available here in the city of Moncton out of Fiber Center, which was the first step in delivering on the promise of bringing competitive network access, improving quality, reducing costs for all the network users here, both businesses and residential consumers alike. And today, 6 months to the day from that announcement, we're here to follow up on that promise. And this one really, it's almost unbelievable that you can't top it because it's so foundational. It's a keystone, not just for Moncton and New Brunswick, but for the whole country of Canada. And that announcement is the CIRA announcement. And Jacques is here to get into more detail about that, what CIRA is and what they do, and how this will benefit all the users of internet connectivity in the province. I'm just happy to be here to say that the Fiber Center is facilitating this, as the oven for the cake baking, the economic development cake baking. So again, not to take any of the time or great thunder from Jacques and CIRA, but just to say thanks and a special shout out, thank you to KJ and Jan, my friends from Germany, coming here and helping to build a private cloud service between Germany and Canada directly, which is fantastic. And also a big shout out to my friend Reed from Hurricane Electric for being here as well. Another fantastic network service provider, largest internet service provider in the world, has a presence right here in Moncton in Fiber Center. So you should all meet Reed and take advantage of the things that he does. I'm available for questions, after this and then later at the lunch. Hope to see you all there. Again, merci beaucoup.
Alors, après cette annonce ce matin à midi, nous allons à 735 humains, deuxième étage, pour une collation et pour réseautage parmi nous. Donc, vous êtes toutes bienvenus pour cette lunch. I'd like now to introduce Jacques Latour avec l'Autorité canadienne pour les enregistrements Internet. Jacques is joined us here from Ottawa today, and he's going to share a little bit about CIRA, what they do, and what this means. This is just the 11th point of access in the country for CIRA to come in and to have this type of arrangement. So it's very important. It's a building. It's a stepping stone for more content providers to come into our region. And without further ado, please welcome Jacques Latour.
Merci. Mon nom c'est Jacques Latour. Je suis le dirigeant principal de technologie pour la CIRA. Ça fait que c'est un grand plaisir d'être ici aujourd'hui pour annoncer le lancement du point d'échange Internet à Moncton. I'm better actually to talk English for techie stuff because it comes out more natural, so I'll try to switch around. So for CIRA, what do we do? Anybody know what we do? We run .ca, that's a top level domain for the internet. So every domain that finishes with .ca, we operate that. There are people actually working in the back of the internet to make that stuff work. So when you type something .ca, that you go to the right website. So we have a registry that we operate on behalf of Canadians. We have 2.5 million domain names. We run a pretty large-scale DNS infrastructure. That's global footprint. We have nodes in Hong Kong and all over the world. And that's to resolve .ca domain names around the world. It's also big in a way that it can sustain global attacks. There's a lot of bad stuff happening, so having a distributed infrastructure is important for keeping .ca up and running. So based on that, based on being resilient, this is what CIRA is all about. So we run .ca, we run the DNS for .ca, and the third, I think, is really important. We do good stuff for the Canadian internet. So our corporate goal is, objective, is to build a better online Canada. So everything we do is around that. And building IXPs, which I'll explain a little bit later what it is about creating an internet in Canada, creating better resilience for the internet, and actually bringing the internet in Canada. So that's why it's really important for us that we're launching this IXP, and it's important for all of us to understand that we need to use our Canadian internet. So I'll try to explain some of that. How many knows, like, raise your hand if you know what an IXP is? So there's a lot of techies here. That's good. So an internet exchange point is the heart of the internet. This is where networks connect together, and this is where network operators exchange traffic together in front of the live stream. It's the heart of the internet. It's super important. And over the last 5 years, we've built 9 internet exchange points in Canada. So in the beginning, we had Ottawa and Toronto internet exchange, so aq8k and Torix. And the rest of Canada was largely using the US internet. That's where all the traffic is exchanging, was exchanging, and all of it today is going through the US. So, legacy, we have a north-south architecture in Canada, and we're trying to change a bit of that by building an infrastructure in Canada to be in control of our traffic for Canada. So that's a large project. So that over the last 5 years, we've built 9 new IXPs. This is the last one. That's the most recent one here in Moncton, and it's a good thing. So what it means is that for Moncton specifically, we're going to bring the internet here. So so today, Hurricane Electric is here, Hibernia. We're bringing the core of the internet. And the most important thing about an internet exchange point is the community. It's not something that CIRA drops. We don't put a switch somewhere and then expect it to run on its own. You need a community, local community, to support and grow the IXP. And that's what we build. We build communities. We bring people together to operate an IXP. We don't drop ship, run it, and operate it. It's a community that runs it, and we support the community around Canada to operate the IXPs. And this is a model that works, and it does make a difference in wherever we put an internet exchange point. So if you go on our CIRA website, we have a bunch of reports there. We try to measure how much traffic flows, like traffic that starts in Canada and the destination is in Canada. A lot of it flows to the US unnecessarily. So part of the IXP is we need to get people to peer, to connect and exchange traffic locally in Canada. It makes it faster, it makes it more resilient, and there's less eyes on the traffic. So, if you know what I mean. So IXPs also help with the resiliency of the internet. So today, if you use a service provider that exchanges traffic only in the US, it's not very resilient if something happens in the US. If the US shuts down or there's a power failure, this is going to impact the Canadian internet. So having providers exchange traffic local increase the resiliency. So if there's a disaster and Moncton and the city connects and all the local ISP connect and everything, everybody would be able to access the Moncton website for disaster recovery. So it makes the internet, the things that people use every day, locally available and more resilient. So to make that work, we need all the providers in the city to connect and exchange traffic. So that's part of the Smart City initiative. The IXP is the hub of the Smart City, and you grow your infrastructure around it. So that's why it needs to be carrier-neutral environment. So if you put it in a data center that doesn't accept connection from other parties, it's difficult to have everybody share and connect traffic. So F6 is a good example of bringing networks to connect together. So the ecosystem for an IXP is you need to have transit provider, you need to have connection provider, you need to have the core internet services like .ca, the DNS, the root. You got to be able to resolve name locally. The internet has to work locally here, not being reliant on the core internet in the US to make your stuff work here. So it's just business continuity. It's important to have local resilience in case of disaster, but also in case of cyber attacks. I don't know if you know, but Mirai is an example of a big botnet that creates a lot of disturbance in the internet. If you're a victim of that, if other parties are victim of that, it might impact your internet here. And then if you're not resilient enough, you don't have an IXP, you're down. So it creates the resiliency for disaster, for cyber attacks, and all that. Let's go ahead. Next step. So essentially we finished this is the 11th internet exchange point. So we have from Vancouver to Moncton, we have every province has at least one point of presence, which is it's a good start, or at least each region. The next step is growing, raising awareness about the IXP, getting the governments to connect, getting the Canadian government to understand that they need to connect to every IXP in Canada and serve their users, the Canadians, directly through Internet Exchange Point instead of through the way they do it today. It makes the infrastructure more resilient. So the next thing is going to be about awareness, showing people how to connect, what's required to leverage all the benefits of the IXP. It's not a lot of work, it's easy, and it's a manufacturer. An IXP is there to manufacture bandwidth for your region. So if you have one, you can generate a lot of traffic. You're in you're in control of your destiny instead of being users of somebody else's network. So it's a great thing. If you have any questions, si vous avez des questions, vous demandez.
I'd be happy to entertain any questions, or if you prefer one-on-ones after, we can arrange that as well. We will be hosting a Q&A session over at Venn following the announcement at 12 o'clock. So that'll be more of an informal, if you have questions, if you want to familiarize yourself with what, that's a lot of information all at once, and I know some of it is over my head, but I'll have a few questions. There you go. So, but if there's any pressing questions now, we'd be happy to entertain. Otherwise, I thank you very much, Jacques, and we'll see you again, I think, shortly. I don't know if you still issue the membership cards, but I'm actually a card-carrying member of CIRA, so from when I registered my .ca domain back in the... there you go, I've got a little piece of history.
I'm going to take a picture of that.
All right. So, merci d'avoir venu pour notre annonce aujourd'hui. Thank you very much, and thank you for joining us on the live stream this morning. This is, again, it's not an end result. This is the next step in an evolution that is transforming Moncton's physical hub into a digital hub. And we are very excited to be speaking with companies from around the world in this regard, and our local companies as well have huge advantages to gain from all of these network carriers, the providers, and the facilitators coming together in a neutral facility. So thank you once again, and we look forward to speaking with you. Oh, Richard.
I do have questions for...
You have questions for the audience? So, come on over here. Go ahead. You can ask questions.
So, because a lot of you raise your hand, because you're techies, I guess. So part of the IXP is a community. So right now, we're looking at building a community for the IXP. So how many of you here would be interested in participating in that? Okay, that's good. So the idea, so once the lunch, please share the information, because we're looking at doing something with the Halifax Internet Exchange. John is here. We can talk about that, but we're trying to figure out how to bring the community together. So it'd be important that you all talk to me after this, or John. Okay. Do you have any comments?
No, just if there are any questions, please see me at lunch. I'm John Sherwood from the Atlantic Internet Exchange. This will be our second facility. We have to talk to any of you about the organization or about technical issues.
There's a question from there.
Oh, yes.
Hi, Ken England, Airtech Communications from PEI. I would normally stand, but that's a few weeks away. 3 weeks ago, I was just down the street visiting Baxter. My question is, when do you come to PEI? We have beautiful beaches over there. Whatever, in July. Beer is expensive.
So, a let's talk, this is important, if there's a community around there, we'll go and with John,
I said this is our second facility, it's certainly not our last. We have a number of target cities in mind, and Charles runs on the list.
Thank you.
so the idea is, today the Halifax Internet Exchange, we're gonna rename it the Atlantic Internet Exchange. And we're gonna have one governance body that, instead of doing a bunch of nonprofit to run a lot of ISP, we'll have one organization that manages multiple sites. But for each of the regional location, we'll need to have technical community to help to make the whole thing work together. So this is a new approach. It's good. That's my last line.
Okay.
Thank you.